Good evening, class. So we'll start with polity and governance, current affairs. Topics for the day are Sampurnata Abhiyan, personality rights in India, Jodia community and Saura language, expert panel for transgender healthcare, and DAYNRLM, National Rural Livelihood Mission at Crossroads. Okay, so these will be the topics of discussion. You can write it. Done? Let's start. Okay. The first one is Sampurnata Abhiyan. First and foremost, what is this meaning of Sampurnata? In simpler sense, it means if I am giving out a particular scheme or a particular benefit, then I should be able to reach Sampurnata. Sampurnata means 100% of the beneficiary should be benefiting from this. Whoever I'm targeting this particular scheme, or if I'm say particular targeted welfare, then it has to reach all of those beneficiaries. Understanding? Thus the name Sampurnata, 100% beneficiary. Now, the Sampurnata Abhiyan was launched by Niti Aayog. Okay. First and foremost, if you have to understand what is the Sampurnata Abhiyan means, it is a campaign which was launched for a period of 3 months. When? From 4th June to 30th September in 2024. So this was for a period of 3 months. What was this for? Nationwide saturation campaign, which means nationwide Sampurnata campaign. Again, what is Sampurnata? Reaching 100% of the beneficiaries, or all the beneficiaries are covered under this. Okay, not maximum beneficiary, not minimum beneficiary, maximum in the sense here only 100% beneficiary coverage. And what does it want to do with this? Last mile service delivery. Here, whatever targeted wellness program you want to give out to the people, everyone for whom you are aiming to give this should be able to receive this. Understanding? Let's say I am going to tell, I want to introduce Sampurnata in your Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, which means every single person should be able to avail the benefit of your Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Understanding? Now, where and all is it applicable for? Means in 112 aspirational districts and 500 blocks of aspirational blocks in more than 329 districts. So it is a selected target delivery. Okay, first it is, you have to understand, 100% beneficiary in a selected setting, not pan-India. Now, what is the core objective of creating something like this? First thing is, what does it want to achieve saturation in or Sampurnata in? Or in which particular aspects does it want 100% coverage for beneficiaries? It is in 6 indicators, both for your aspirational districts and aspirational blocks. It is these 6 indicators. What are those indicators? 6 indicators for aspirational districts and 6 indicators for aspirational blocks. This number you keep in mind. Why exactly should they achieve this Sampurnata? Means it will improve socio-economic outcome and fast track human development indicator. So In order to do this, they want to achieve saturation or sampurnata. In aspirational areas, okay, district blocks, we told that, look at this, more than 500 blocks are selected. How are these blocks picked? If they have poor health indicator, low education levels, and also weak infrastructure and high poverty. So if I have to bring this, okay, campaign in a particular or aspirational district or block means, it has to be because of this ground. This is how I am selecting a particular aspirational block. Now, first we will see what is this aspirational districts program. First and foremost, it was launched in 2018. Again, it was launched by Niti Aayog. It covers 112 districts. What is the objective of this aspirational district? Look at this, aspirational, a model kind, okay? You have to bring in rapid transformation and the schemes should have a convergence. Now, let's say if you have to bring in about Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or open defecation free, then you also have to make sure Jal Jeevan Mission is also on point. Yes, which means you have to make sure that one scheme which is, let's say, open defecation free, you will build toilets. Toilets ke liye what is needed? It should not be dry latrines, water. So you need a functional tap connection. So there should be convergence of schemes. Next, on what themes have we picked it? Means health and nutrition, education, agriculture and water resource, financial inclusion and skill development, and lastly basic infrastructure. And also for your aspirational districts program, we are seeing what are the indicators. We have more than 81 indicators and also real-time data monitoring dashboard, meaning what changes, whatever is happening, you can see on a real-time feed as to how is it. Okay, next, once again give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Okay, forgive me for the delay. So there was a small technical glitch, I just had to look into that. Okay, so now let us look into your aspirational districts program and your aspirational block program. Okay, now first we'll see how is the difference. Okay, okay, so what is the difference? Means aspirational districts program to aspirational blocks program. Your aspirational districts program was launched in 2018. Aspirational blocks program was launched in 2023. What is the cover of these three? Okay, these two means first the coverage is in aspirational districts program 112 districts are picked, whereas in your aspirational blocks program 500 blocks are picked. Again, on what grounds? We saw the grounds with respect to poverty, with respect to education levels. Okay, so with respect to your basic development, financial inclusion, in all of these there is a issue. So whichever areas are having these things alongside your health, which areas are having very low performance of all of this, for those particular, okay, blocks we have picked it. Understanding? Next, so how are they exactly trying to deal with this issue? First and foremost, with the aspirational districts program, they are going to transform the entire district. Okay, it is not about a particular region in the district, but whereas with respect to your block saturation, you are trying to first get that particular block into, okay, change this scenarios. Once you change those scenarios, then that block will be reformed. Understanding? How many indicators are used here? In aspirational districts program is 81, in your aspirational blocks program it is 40. The focus is on macro outcome, which means for the entire, okay, district you are looking at here. Here it is micro delivery, which means last mile service delivery. Understanding? Or your sampurnata, whatever we are claiming, that is your 100% beneficiary. Okay. Just give me a minute. Now let's look into some possible prelims question on this. Now, let's see some possible prelims question. Sampurnata Abhiyan is associated with which of the following? Skill India, Aspirational Area Saturation, Jal Jeevan Mission, Smart Cities. The correct answer is or Aspirational Area Saturation. Okay. Aspirational area saturation, saturation meaning Sampurnata, 100% beneficiary reach. Next, with reference to Sampurnata Abhiyan, consider the following statements. It is launched by Niti Aayog. It is a long-term 5-year mission. It focuses on saturation of select indicators in aspirational areas. Which of the above statements are correct? See now for this, it is launched by Niti Aayog, Sampurnata Abhiyan, correct. It is a long-term 5-year mission. No, it is a strictly 3-month awareness. Okay. Now, it focuses on saturation of select indicators in aspirational areas. This is correct. Correct option is 1 and 3 only. You can write it down. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding Aspirational Districts program. It was launched in 2018. It covers 112 districts. It is implemented by the Ministry of Finance. See, first and foremost, with respect to the districts and the launching is fine. You have to be very carefully looking at these things. Okay, this is where they will make it easier to confuse you. Okay, so it is not your Ministry of Finance, but it is your Niti Aayog. Okay, so the third statement here is wrong. Now, I will also be mentioning about your Sampurnata focus areas. Okay, first and foremost, which of the theme is common to both ADP and ABP, Aspirational Districts Program and ABP? Health and nutrition, yes. Education, yes. Agriculture, yes. Space research, no. Okay, this is not with respect to space research. Understanding? Just give me a moment. Now, I will be writing Sampurnata indicators also after this particular question. The term saturation in governance program implies budget reduction, the term saturation in governance programs implies budget reduction, scheme privatization, 100% beneficiary coverage and policy discontinuation. Like I told, Sampurnata or saturation means 100% beneficiary coverage. Okay. Now, we'll see a possible question. Assertion. Okay. Sampurnata Abhiyan targets aspirational districts, correct? Aspirational areas. Reason, these areas have weak socio-economic indicators. Yes, because they are having weak socio-economic indicators is why you are putting and targeting on Sampurnata Abhiyan 100% beneficiary coverage. So both assertion and reason are correct, and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay. Now before we move to personality rights, there are few things that I will tell you about your Sampurnata Abhiyan. Okay. What are the indicators on which your Sampurnata Abhiyan is built around? Means first and foremost, institutional deliveries. Okay, first and foremost it is about institutional deliveries. That is where we have a lot of schemes. Remember, we spoke about Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Janani Suraksha Yojana, and also alongside this we will bring in your immunization. Okay, we will bring in immunization, and also because we said lower levels of education means what will you try to do? You will try to bring in and increase your school enrollments. Alright, you will bring in your school enrollments, and also most importantly drinking water access. Alright, and nutritional services. So these are the important areas of indicators for your Sampurnata Abhiyan. And also, if you see how are they thinking of implementing this? Okay, implementation strategies are first and foremost, it is through convergence of your central and state schemes. Okay, you have to make sure that the schemes are working together as one unit. Convergence of central and state schemes. Next is through your district collectors who will act as nodal officers. The district collectors will act as your nodal officers, and also there will be monthly. Okay, you will keep on checking monthly monitoring for your progress. Okay, and next is you create public dashboard so anyone can view it. Lastly, you will also give a ranking system in order to create a sense of competition, and also to see how the performance has been in each one of these. Understanding? So this is how you go about with your Sampurnata Abhiyan. Next topic is personality rights in India. First and foremost, why is it in news? So recently what happened, a case was brought in front of Delhi High Court, which was by your Salman Khan, which was stating that there is concerns about your unauthorized AI voice cloning. Understanding? So when you have unauthorized AI voice cloning, this is from a foreign AI platform. Okay, now this particular aspect as to why personality rights were discussing means there was an injunction which was sought to remove, okay, this AI content, right? Now the question that comes in front of us is, what is the meaning of this concept called as personality rights? Okay, what is personality rights means? First and foremost, the rights protecting an individual's public persona. The keyword here is public persona. Understanding? Which means what and all will it include? It will include the name of a person, voice of a person, understanding, and also image of a person, right? We can also take like your signature styles or mannerism. Right? So this is the public persona and this has to be protected. Another important thing is, what is this concept of personality rights means? It has two main things. First one is a right to privacy. Okay, right to privacy and intellectual property. Understanding? So what exactly is a personality right means? An individual will control how the commercial use of his identity should be. Understanding? So what is it? An individual's control over commercial use of their identity. Alright, this is how it is to deal with. Next, if you see what are the types of personality rights in India means, first is first and foremost would be right of publicity. Okay, right of publicity which will protect your image, voice, likeliness, all this will be protected. Another thing is, it prevents unauthorized commercial exploitation of your likeliness, voice and image. And also this is very much similar, right of publicity is very much similar to your trademark protection. Okay, so that is one thing. Second thing is, if right of publicity is one thing, second aspect would be right to privacy. Under right to privacy, what will happen? If in case someone is going to be using your like we said, image, voice or likeliness, then the consent is needed to do that. Next thing is, it also protects the personal representation. How do they wish to be represented? And also, like we said, it shows the representation and also misrepresentation also is avoided. Okay, with respect to your right of publicity or your right for likeliness in privacy and all, if we are going to see what is the constitutional mandate, first is your Article 21, which is right to life and personal liberty. Yes, and also in your Justice Puttaswamy case, in Justice Puttaswamy case, your judiciary held that right to privacy is very important part of your Article 21, right to life and personal liberty. Now let's see what are some of the acts that we have with regarding to your protection of personality rights. So what are the acts? First and foremost is your Copyright Act. Okay, Copyright Act of 1957. Now in this particular right, what we will do means moral rights are granted, and also this will protect your performers and your authors, so that people cannot misuse or distort the facts and cases. Understanding? Second thing is Trademark Act of 1999. First and foremost, under Trademark Act of 1999, there is something called as Section 14. Section 14, what does it do? Means it associates with a living person. Let's say if someone is deceased for more than 20 years, that is within the 20 years, you cannot take their content, manipulate it. Understanding? And also, here also in Trademark Act, it requires consent. Next most important one is IT Act of 2000 or your Information Technology Act, which even specifies according to your section 66C. What does it tell? Means you have punishment for identity theft. Okay. And also you have to make sure that it may not look like them, but again if you are using their likeliness, that is also coming under your identity theft. Okay, so these are some important acts which are there with respect to protection of personality rights. Have a look at this. Now where is all these issues coming from? Largely if you see, it is because of your emerging artificial intelligence technologies, wherein we have things like your AI voice cloning, deep fakes, and also face monitoring. You also create things such as your misleading advertisements they can create without the person's consent, where the person may not be the one who actually wants to do that. Okay, and you will also use a lot of fake political messaging. This will lead to reputation damage of the concerned personality. Now, is this the first case or something like this happened before? It has happened before, especially in your Aishwarya Rai Bachchan case of 2025, where your Delhi High Court held that there should be restrained your impersonation. Okay, your AI generated content should be banned, and also the protection should be given to the name, image and likeliness. Okay, so your judiciary is trying to balance between your privacy and publicity and reputation. Understanding? It is looking into the aspects of your freedom of expression, and also with respect to freedom of trade, right, and also artistic freedom while doing these. Now in which cases, okay, there is permission to use, okay, author's name or voice or likeliness means first and foremost, when there is no any public deception. Okay, you are not doing this to deceive the public. Second thing is, there is no false endorsement for you or your brand or whatever it is. And next is, artistic transformation is present. Okay, now one of the most important thing for your article 19, now when we are going to be claiming, or your article 21 right to privacy, your foreign entities cannot invoke this. That is, foreign entities cannot invoke article 19. Understanding? And also they do not have protection for trade speech rights. Okay, who has the jurisdiction in this? Only your Indian courts. Okay, now let's see some possible questions in this. Look at this. Personality rights protects which of the following? Name, voice, image, property, ownership. Your personality rights in India protect name, voice and image, not property ownership. The correct option is 1, 2 and 3 only. Next. Section 14 of Trademark Act deals with patent infringement, false personality association, copyright piracy and GI tagging. Correct answer is false personality association. Understanding? And also this is where we can speak about the misrepresentations. Yes. Next question. With regard to personality rights, with reference to personality rights, consider the following statements. They protect an individual's name, image and voice. The statement is correct. They are explicitly mentioned in the constitution. Explicitly mentioned? No, personality rights as a concept or explicitly it is not mentioned in constitution. They allow control over commercial use of identity. This is correct. So the correct option are 1 and 3 only. Now, which of the following best describes the right of publicity? Right to vote publicly, protection against illegal detention, protection from unauthorized commercial use of likeness, right to government publicity. This is protection from unauthorized commercial use of likeness, name or voice. Okay, so option C is correct. Next topic is Jodia community and Saura language. Understanding? Now, first and foremost, why is this in news? Recently what happened means your Odisha had proposed your Jodia community to be added in your ST. Okay, they to be given a ST status or to be added in your ST list. And also they want to include Saura language in 8th schedule. Okay, so this is what they have been doing. So what did center reply, especially in Lok Sabha, means your center has told, central government has told in Lok Sabha, this proposal has not been accepted. Okay, and also you have to consider it back, whatever proposal you sent, consider it back, they have told it to the state government. Now, first and foremost, what exactly is happening? Let's look at your Jodia community. Okay, the Jodia community is also called as Jodia Paraja. Okay, and it is linked to your Paroja tribe. Where are they there? Means they are mainly focused in your Odisha. Where exactly in Odisha they are focused? In your Kottapalya, Raigada and your Kalahandi parts, and also they are largely located in the eastern parts. Okay, eastern Ghats of tribal belt where they are largely there. Now with respect to the ST status that they are asking for your Jodia community, earlier they did enjoy your ST benefits because they were linked to your Paroja tribe. Okay, like I have mentioned, they have linked to your Paroja tribe, so they did have this ST status. But what happened? This benefits discontinued. Okay, because they were linked with Paroja tribe, they did have your ST status, but in 1997 this benefit got discontinued. So first and foremost, let's say what exactly will someone focus if they have to get a ST status? Means first it will be your social backwardness, economical deprivation, and also your geographical isolation and low literacy levels. This is with respect to socio-economic features. Now next, when we say about the livelihood pattern, okay, like how exactly earning their living means, first is through your tribal, main thing is through your subsistence agriculture, right? Forest produce collection, and also your minest forest products will be there, no? So dependence will be on minor forest products. Now coming to your Saura language. Your Saura language is spoken by your Saura tribe. Okay, and where exactly do we have the presence of the Saura language means? It is largely in your Odisha and Andhra Pradesh belt. Okay, it belongs to Austro-Asiatic family. All right, and largely they are present in your Munda languages. Okay, they are also called as Sora, Saura, Saura, right? And if you see what is the script of these people, it is Sorang Sompeng. Okay, Sorang Sompeng. This was developed by your Mangai Gomango. Now, where will they use this particular language? Means it is used in rituals. It is also used in your, let's say, religious texts. And also this marks the identity of that particular tribe. Which tribe? Your Sorang Sompenka script, whichever is written, the Sora tribe. Okay, look at this. Next, 8th schedule status, they have asked for the language. First and foremost, as of now, your Sora language is not included in the 8th schedule. It means what? If it is not an 8th schedule, it lacks official recognition. Second thing is, if it is not having this, what it can happen? So your preservation mechanism can become weak. Now let's see some committees on language inclusion. So which are the committees which are linked with your language inclusion means? First is your Pahwa committee. Okay, Pahwa committee, which was in 1996. What did it tell? Means it has to examine the inclusion criteria. If you have to add a language, there should be certain criteria. Then is your Sitankant Mohapatra committee. This was in your 2003. It said further review is needed in order to see what aspects should be needed to put in a schedule, but any significant framework did not come in. Next, now let's say if you have to add a particular community, okay, into ST list, then what is the order? Okay, if you have to add a particular community into ST list, what should be done means, first and foremost, this is provided under Article 342 of the Constitution, okay, which tells first your president should notify the ST. Okay, he should notify that particular ST list. Then what happens means, under Article 342 of 2, your parliament can either include or exclude communities. Who can do? Parliament. Only they can include or exclude the list. Now what happens? The stage why this particular topic is in news means, yes, first your state government proposed this. Odisha state government in this case proposed it. Okay, then this went to your examination of Registrar General of India. he will examine it. But in this particular case, what happened? He himself didn't agree, so they sent back the proposal to the state government. But let's say, okay, if I have to completely add a community in ST list, then what is the procedure? Means, first and foremost, it has to be proposed by the respective state government. Then it will be examined by the Registrar General of India, which will be under your Ministry of Home Affairs. After this, it will also be going to your National Commission for ST. Your National Commission for ST means constitutional provision is under Article 338A. Yes, and after this it will consolidate all the recommendation of your Registrar General of India, and then finally what will happen? It will go to Union Cabinet. Union Cabinet has to give the approval. Then finally it will go to Parliament, where Parliament has to pass this bill. First it has to introduce this bill, and it has to be passed by simple majority. Okay, it has to be passed by simple majority in both the houses, and lastly it receives presidential assent. Okay, this is how your ST list is added. That is, a community is added into the ST list. Now, let's see some possible questions in this. Look at this. Inclusion of a community in a scheduled tribe list is provided in Article 340, Article 341, Article 342, Article 343. Correct answer is Article 342. Next, which body has the power to amend the ST list after notification? State legislature, president, parliament, Niti Aayog. See, president will notify it, but removal or addition is by parliament and not by the state legislature on its own. Next, consider the following statements. States can directly add communities to the ST list. No, they cannot. Parliament has to pass it. Parliament must pass an amendment for inclusion. Yes. Presidential notification is required. Correct. So the correct options are 2 and 3 only. Next topic is your expert panel for transgender healthcare. So why is it in news? Your Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment recently said that we have to set up a multidisciplinary expert panel. Why? In order to focus on the transgender healthcare policy. So this will act as a guidance for us. Now, why did they have to propose this expert panel? If you see, first and foremost, it was to provide a technical guidance. Okay, and also create a inclusive healthcare policy and address the transgender specific needs. Why do they have this particular specific needs, or why exactly this panel is needed? One thing is, your transgender people have very distinct let's say with respect to attributes for healthcare. What is it? They have different hormonal, more of a unique hormonal profile, psychological characteristics, and also psychological needs, and most importantly, the gender affirming care requirements are needed. Now, if we see the constitutional basis of what constitutional rights are involved in order to provide these things for these people, means first is your Article 14, equality before law. Next is Article 15, you will not discriminate based on your gender, sex. Yes. Next is Article 19, freedom of speech and expression. Next is Article 21, right to life with dignity. Now, the important aspect as to why we are seeing this particular aspect of we have to set up a expert panel means there was a trigger. The trigger was in the form of your Jain Kaushik versus Union of India case 2025. What happened or why was this particular case was brought in? Main issue was regarding your workplace discrimination against trans women. Okay, so Supreme Court had directed the center to set up an advisory or expert committee which will strengthen your transgender welfare mechanisms. So now if you see how many transgender people exactly are there in India, so that we need to set up an expert panel, means we have, according to your 2011 census, more than 4.8 lakh transgender living in our country. The highest prevalence is seen in Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra. Also, if you see what are the, over the course of time, what are the reforms done for your transgender people, means first and foremost reform would be your Election Commission reform in 2009. What did they do? They added the category of others. Okay, others category was added so that the third gender will be enabled for your voter registration. Okay, second thing is your landmark Supreme Court judgment in 2014 with regarding to your NALSA. What happened? National Legal Service Authority versus Union of India case pe, they recognized, judiciary formally recognized the third gender, and they also gave the self identification right at the same point of time. They also linked it with human rights framework. Understanding? Then another significant change that happened was Transgender Persons Protection Act of your 2019. What did it bring? See, this is more of a landmark legislative reform which brought in aspects such as prohibition of discrimination. It covers education, healthcare, employment, and also set up welfare measures, and it also provides a identity certificate mechanism. Okay, so if you see which is the nodal ministry for all this, means it is Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Okay, so this is now taking up the function with respect to policy design, healthcare inclusion, and also legal protection monitoring. Okay, so this is with regarding to transgender healthcare. Now let's see some possible questions. The expert panel for transgender healthcare was formed by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Niti Aayog, NHRC. The correct answer is Ministry of Social Justice and Welfare. Okay. Next topic is your DAY NRLM at crossroads. Why is it in news? First and foremost, the appraisal for your Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana is due for 2026 to 27 to your 2030-31 cycle. So they are trying to review the strategy. What are they trying to focus on? If you see, it is on women empowerment, okay, and also about your enterprise growth through your SHGs, and also institutional sustainability. So these are the attributes it is trying to focus on. Now what is this DAYNRLM? Means Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission. This is undertaken by your Ministry of Rural Development. Okay, when was it launched? It was launched as National Rural Livelihood Mission in 2011. Later it was restructured. Okay, under your Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, it's an umbrella. So, what are the core objectives? Look at this. What are the core objectives of this if you see? First and foremost is to reduce rural poverty. You will reduce rural poverty by mobilizing the poor households by promoting women-led institutions through your financial inclusion, SHG strengthening, supporting livelihood and enterprises, right? So which areas are they largely focusing to do this? Your capacity building, a bank credit linkage, okay, first and foremost with respect to skill development, all right, and also enterprise promotion. Now, if you see, how exactly are they going for a decentralized governance? Because if all this has to happen, then foremost here is decentralized governance. How are they trying to do this decentralized governance? Means it is through a 3-tier. First is through your SHGs or self-help groups. Second is through your village organizations or VIVOs. Last is through your cluster level federations. Understanding? It is through these three they are trying to make sure that a decentralized governance is able to achieve these things. Now, have they did it? 2011 ka scheme it is, right? So, have they been able to do it, or what is the progress if you see? More than 10 crore households have benefited of this. 91 lakh SHGs have been created. 5.35 lakh village organizations have been created, and 33,558 cluster level federations have been created. And also because of this, it becomes one of the world's largest women networks. Alright, now let's see how the financial inclusion has been about. First and foremost, more than 11 lakhs, understanding, more than 11 lakh crore bank credit has been mobilized. And the non-performing assets is only roughly 1.7%, indicating what? There is a strong repayment culture that we are observing in this, okay, which is a win-win scenario. And also, your women's economic gains have increased with respect to more than 2+ crore Lakpati Didis, and also there is a rise in your income levels. There is also good amount of financial literacy which is observed, and large amount of asset ownership has also been recorded. Understanding? Now let's see some possible prelims question from this. DAY NRLM is implemented by Ministry of Panchayat Raj, Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Women and Child Development, Niti Aayog. Correct option is Ministry of Rural Development. Okay. Next. The primary objective of DAY NRLM is to promote urban employment, reduce rural poverty through SHGs, develop smart villages, expand Manrega works. The more apt answer is reduce rural poverty through SHGs or self-help groups. With this, we come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with your friends. Thank you. Any doubts? Okay.